Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today's lesson is going to be on the analysis of naqis versus regular verbs. So we learnt before that naqis are weak verbs where the last root letter is a weak letter. So here the letter they've given is da'a, which actually originally has a waw in the end, da'awa, but we do not pronounce this due to difficult of pronunciation, and it is omitted, and we have only da'a. So when we look at a madi, which is past tense, and when we take a regular verb like dhahaba, which means he went. So when we analyze this, we can see it's fi'alul madi, that is past tense, mabniyun ala fatha. That means it is indeclinable on the fatha. That means it will always remain with a fatha, no matter what comes before or after it. It doesn't change. And the fa'il, that is the doer of this verb, is damir mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. That means it's an attached pronoun and it is hidden, and it is in the form of he, who, because the meaning of this verb is he went. Then when we take the naqis verb, we have da'a, which means he called. So here again we have fi'alul madi, that is past tense, mabniyun ala al-fathati al-muqaddarati. That means it's indeclinable on the fatha that is hidden, because you can see that the last letter here does not have a fatha because it's an alif. It cannot have a fatha. So it is a hidden fatha, and the fa'il, that is a doer of this verb, is again attached pronoun, and it is a hidden attached pronoun in the form of huwa, which is he. Then when we go to mudari, that is the present tense in the marfu form, the verb is yadhhabu, he is going. So when we analyze this, we have fi'alun mudari'un, present tense, marfu'un bid-dhamma, that means it's in the state of marfu, and that is shown by the dhamma that's there. Al-fa'il ضمير مستتر تقديره هو. The fa'il or the doer is attached and hidden, and it is in the form of he. Then we have yad'u, which means he is calling. So this is again fi'al al-mudari, present tense, marfu'un bid-dhammatul muqaddarati. That is, the marfu is shown with the dhamma, which is hidden, and the doer is again dhamir mustatir taqdiruhu huwa, attached hidden pronoun he. Then when we go to mudari'un majzumun, with the present tense in the form of majzum, then we have yadhhab. So here again we have fi'lul mudari'un, present tense, majzumun bis sukun. So the majzum is shown with the sign of sukun here. Al-fa'il, that is the doer of the verb, is damir mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. It's an attached pronoun, attached hidden pronoun, he. And then for the naqis verb, it's yad'u. So here again, fi'al al-mudari, present tense, majzumun, which means that the majzum is shown by dropping of the weak letters. بِحَذْفِ حَرْفِ الْعِلَّةِ means the dropping of the weak letters. So this originally has the weak letter waw here, but that is dropped to make it majzum. الفاعل الضمير مستتر تقديره هو, which again means the doer of the verb is attached and is hidden and is in the form of he. Then let's go and discuss the three moods of the fi'al al-mudari al-naqis, which is a present tense verb, weak verb, where the last root letter is a weak letter. In the three different forms, how it changes: marfu, mansub, and majzoom. So first, let's go to al-fi'al al-arba'atun, or as we have learned before, 5 in your pocket. So 5 in your pocket is the 5 main tenses which is huwa, hiya, anta, ana, nahnu. So for in the marfu form, the marfu is shown as marfu bid dammatil muqaddara, which means the marfu is shown with the dhamma that is hidden. So the original letter here is yad'u, but as we learned earlier, the last waw, the last dhamma is dropped and we get a sukoon instead. So therefore this becomes yad'u. For here it becomes tad'u, for anta tad'u, for ana ad'u, and for nahnu nad'u. Then in the mansoob form, the mansoob is shown with the fatha, which is very clear here, the fatha in the end. So for huwa it is yad'uwa, for here it is tad'uwa, for anta it is tad'uwa, for ana ad'uwa, and for nahnu it is nad'uwa. Then in the majzoom form, the majzoom is shown with majzoom bihadafi harfil illati. That is, the majzoom is shown with the omission of the weak letter. So the last letter wa, which we can clearly see here, is dropped. So therefore we get yad'u for huwa, tad'u for here, tad'u for anta, ad'u for ana, and nad'u for nahnu. Then when we come to al-af'alul khamsa, that is the 5 verbs of huma, hum, huma, antum, antuma, anti, and antuma. For these words, the marfu is shown with the presence of the noon. Marfu'un bithubutin noon. So this noon here shows us that this verb is in the marfu form. So for huma it goes as yad'uwani. For hum yad'una. For huma tad'uwani. For antuma it goes as tad'uwani. For antum tad'una. For anti tad'ina. For antuma tad'uwani. Then we have the mansoob and the majzoom form. For both of them, the sign of mansoob and majzoom is shown with the omission of the noon. As we can see, there is no noon in here. So the mansoobum bihadafin noon or majzoomun bihadafin noon. That is, the mansoob or the majzoom form is shown with the omission of the noon. So for huma it goes as yad'uwa. For hum yad'u. For huma tad'uwa. For antuma tad'uwa. For antum tad'u. For anti tad'i. And for antuma tad'uwa. And in the majzoom form, again, it will remain the same. Then when we go to al-fi'lan al-mabniyani, that is the 2 verbs which do not change, which are fixed, which is hunna and antunna. So these do not change no matter what form they take, mansoob, majroor, majzoom, or marfu. So it remains the same. We can see it's yad'una, 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 tad'una, tad'una, tad'una. So we say mabniyun ala sukuni fi mahalli raf, which means it stays fixed on the sukun in the state of raf. Mabniyun ala sukuni fi mahalli nasab, it stays fixed on the sukun in the state of nasab. مبني على السكون في محل جزم. It stays fixed on the sukun. Then let's go to modes of فعل المضارع. Here we can see the word يدعو, which means he calls. So here when we analyze it, it's فعل المضارع مرفوع بالضمة المقدرة. That is, it's a present tense with مرفوع in the marfu form with a dhamma, with a hidden dhamma. And the fa'il, that is the doer here, is dhamir mustatir taqdiruhu huwa. It's a hidden attached pronoun, huwa, he. Then when we put the word an in front of it, So an means that. So when we put an in front of it, it requires the next word to be in a mansoob form, to have a fatha. So we need to change this. When we put an in front of it, it becomes an yad'uwa. So this becomes فعل مضارع منصوب بالفتحة. That is the present tense in the mansoob form with fatha. And the fa'il, the doer, is ضمير مستتر تقديره هو. It is a hidden attached pronoun هو, he. So this becomes that he called. Then we have تدعو. So this is again فعل مضارع مرفوع بالضمة المقدرة. That is present tense in the مرفوع form with a hidden dhamma. And the fa'il here is ضمير مستتر تقديره هي أو أنت. That means the doer is a hidden pronoun, hidden attached pronoun, which can be either she or you, here or anta. So when we put an tad'u, again when we put an, this has to change into the mansoob form, which will then become an tad'uwa. So فعل مضارع منصوب بالفتحة. That is the present tense in the mansoob form with the fatha. And the fa'il is again ضمير مستتر تقديره هي أو أنت. So it's a hidden attached pronoun which is either going to be here or anta, she or you. So then when we come to تدعين, this is فعل مضارع مرفوع بالثبوب النون. That means it's a present tense in the marfu form with the presence of the noon here. And the fa'il is al-ya'u taqdiruhu anta. So here the ya here is the fa'il, which tells us that it is anti, that is you, female. When we put an in front of it again, then this changes to tad'i. So an tad'i. فعل مضارع منصوب بحذف نون. That is, it is a present tense in the mansoob form with the omission of the noon. As you can see, this noon has been omitted here and we get tad'i. And the fa'il is al-ya'u taqdiruhu anti. So the ya here is the fa'il, which shows us that it is the preposition anti. Pronoun, sorry, it's the pronoun anti. Then when we come to ad'u, which is I call, this is فعل مضارع مرفوع بالضمة المقدرة. That is present tense in the marfu form with a hidden dhamma. The fa'il, the doer here is ضمير مستتر تقديره أنا. Hidden pronoun, attached pronoun I, أنا. Again, when we put an in front of it, this will become ad'uwa, which is in the mansoob form. So فعل مضارع منصوب بالفتحة. Present tense in the mansoob form with the fatha. الفاعل ضمير مستتر تقديره أنا. That is, the doer here is again a hidden attached pronoun, which is أنا, I. Then in the whom form, that is they all, it becomes يدعون, that is they all call, they all are calling. So it becomes فعل مضارع مرفوع بثبوت النون, which means it is a present tense in the marfu form in the presence of this noon here. And the fa'il here is the waw taqdiruhu hum. So the waw here is the fa'il, the doer of the verb, which tells us that it is hum, that is they all, male. So when we put an in front of it, an yad'u, that they all are calling. Then this will change into the mansoob form again, and we get فعل مضارع منصوب بحذف نون. Present tense in the mansoob form with the omission of the noon. The doer, the fa'il here is al-ya'u taqdiruhu hum. The ya over here. Okay, so I think this has been a small mistake here. It should not be ya'u, it should be wawu. Al-wawu taqdiruhu hum. So the waw here is the fa'il, which shows us that it is hum, they all. Then we have yad'una, which is in the pronoun hunna, that is, they all female. So this means they all are calling again female. فعل مضارع مبني على السكون في محل رفع. That is, this is a present tense fixed on the sukun in the form of raf. And the doer here is the noon taqdiruhu hunna. So the noon here is the fa'il, the doer, which tells us that it is the pronoun hunna. That is, they all female. Again, when we put un in front of it, it is important to note that there are no changes. It remains the same because this is mabniyun, this is fixed. So it does not change. It remains the same. An yad'un, an yad'una. That they all are calling. So this is again when we analyze it becomes فعل مضارع مبني على سكون في محل نصب. That it is a present tense fixed on the sukun in the state of nasab. And the doer here is again the noon taqdiruhu hunna. Shows us that it is hunna. Then when we come to tad'u again, but here we will be discussing the negation with la. So tad'u here again means either she is calling or you are calling. So when we analyze it, it's فعل مضارع مرفوع بالضمة المقدرة. That is present tense in the marfu form with a hidden dhamma. The fa'il is ضمير مستتر تقديره هو. So that means the doer here is a hidden attached pronoun which is anta. So it's clear to us that it is not she, it is in fact anta, you. You are calling. So when we put a negation in front of it, such as la, which means no, you are not calling. It means you are not calling. So when we put la, automatically the next verb here has to become in the majzoom form. So the majzoom form of tad'u is tad'u. So here when we analyze, we get it as فعل مضارع مجزوم بحذف حرف العلة. That is, it is in the present tense in the majzoom form with the omission of the weak letter. And the doer here, the fa'il here is ضمير مستتر تقديره أنت, attached hidden pronoun which is أنت, you. Then when we say تدعين, which is again you are calling, female. So when we analyze this, it goes as فعل مضارع مرفوع بثبوت النون. That it is present tense in the marfu form in the presence of this noon here. Then the doer, the fa'il, is al-ya'u taqdiruhu anti. So the ya here is the fa'il, which shows us that the pronoun is anti, you, female. But when we put a la before it, again, that means you are not calling. Then again, this has to be changed to the majzoom form. So therefore, it becomes tad'i. So it becomes فعل مضارع مجزوم بحذف النون. That is present tense in the majzum form with the omission of the noon. There is no noon here. And the fa'il or the doer is the ya'u taqdiruhu anti. The ya here is the fa'il, is the doer, which tells us that it is anti. Then when we say tad'uwani, which means you both are calling. So this, when we analyze, it's فعل مضارع مرفوع بثبوت النون, present tense in the marfu form with the presence of this noon. So the doer here is the alif, which shows us that it is huma, mu'annath or antuma. It can be either huma, mu'annath means female, that is they both are calling female, or you both are calling. So when we put la before it, again it has to be changed from the mansub form, which is tadwa. So this again, sorry, tadwa, la tadwa. So either they both are not calling or you both are not calling. So this, when we analyze, it is فعل مضارع منصوب بحذف نون, that is present tense in the mansub form with the omission of the noon. So the doer here is the alif. The alif here is the doer, which shows us that it is either huma, female, or you both. Huma is you both, they both female, or you both. So when we have ad'u, that is I am calling. This is فعل مضارع مرفوع بالضمة المقدرة, that is present tense in the marfu form with a hidden dhamma. And the fa'il, the doer here, is a hidden attached pronoun, which is ana, I. Then when we put which means did not. So when we put this negation here, did not, then it requires the verb after it to be in the majzum form. So therefore this has to change to majzum form. From ad'u, it becomes ad'u. Lam ad'u. I did not call. So this, the i'rab for this is فعل مضارع مجزوم بحذف حرف العلة. That is present tense in the majzum form with the omission of weak letters. So here we can see the waw has been omitted. And the fa'il or the doer is damir muttasir taqdiruhu ana. That is hidden attached pronoun I. Then in antum, that is you all, the word will be tad'una. So فعل مضارع مرفوع بالثبوت النون. Present tense in the marfu form with the presence of the noon. الفاعل الواو تقديره أنتم. So the fa'il here is the waw, which tells us that it is antum. Then when we put lam before it, again it has to drop the noon and become tad'u. So فعل مضارع مجزوم بحذف النون. So present tense in the majzum form with the omission of the noon. And the fa'il or the doer is not ya, it is waw. Okay, waw taqdiruhu antum. That is waw shows us that the doer is antum here. You all male. So you all did not call. Then when we have antunna, you all female, then the verb becomes tad'una. So this is فعل مضارع مبني على السكون في محل رفع. That is present tense, which is not declinable on the sukun. It's fixed on the sukun in the form of raf. And the fa'il or the doer is the noon taqdiruhu antunna. So the noon here tells us that this is the fa'il antunna. Then when you put lam before tad'una, it does not change because it is mabniyun. That means it is fixed. It will not change. So it will remain لم تدعونا. You all did not call. Female. So فعل مضارع مبني على السكون في محل جزم. So this is present tense fixed on the sukun in the form of jism. And the fa'il or the doer is the noon تقديره أنت. The noon is the fa'il here.